What's up, everybody? It's Joe from Complex. You were watching the Complex Sneakers podcast. As always, I'm with my guys. To my right, Mr. Matt Welty.
Here, early in the morning.
And to my left, Mr. Brendan Dunne.
Hi-yo.
How you doing? How we feeling?
I'm a little tired, to be honest with you, but I'm happy to be here, as always.
Late night last night?
Early morning.
Oh, okay.
I feel like you should be the most tired, right, Joe?
Why?
A big night for you last night?
What are you talking about? Do you mean I had to put the video on? Put the video on if you're listening.
Yeah,
pull up the YouTube. The video
Joe just went
yeah.
full Superman.
Okay,
Clark
look,
Kent.
I might as well be on the sidelines because it's dry fit.
That's what I was about to say.
It's dry fit. I popped the tags today. I haven't worn this ever. It's dry fit. Put me on the sidelines next season because I have it.
What graduate assistant did you steal that from?
No, I didn't. They sent me a care package like a year and a half ago before UConn was as dominant as it was.
Before the resurgence.
Because we knew. We always ride with them.
Explain to the people what you're wearing
okay,
and why you're wearing it.
This is a dry fit. I mean, what you feel it. Go ahead. Don't be shy. What do you think it is? A shooting shirt? It's a UConn basketball. It's a UConn basketball shooting shirt, Nike dry fit that I've never worn.
Mm-hmm. One step up from the coaching polo.
Yeah, that's why I feel like a coach, and I paired them. We'll get to it, but I paired them with the navy blue New Balances. That's how we're feeling.
Not playing around on any level.
You know.
And why are you wearing the special shirt
Yeah,
today?
because we won the championship, our 5th championship. Shouts to Adam Caparell back in December or so, where I called him.
Your fellow UConn grad.
Yeah, fellow UConn grad, used to run the daily campus paper sports section. Didn't speak to me a word.
In college?
Alan Caparell was very intimidating in that newsroom. Very intimidating. Didn't speak, and now we're big friends. Obviously, he worked here. But in December, he goes, pay attention to this UConn team.
You know who brought you to the glory land?
Pay attention to the UConn team. I started watching them. They lost 6 straight, okay? That's all right. That's okay. They lost 6 straight or so.
And you stopped watching it.
They lost 6 straight. I said, Adam, you sure? He goes, no. They're very deep. That was like they had a losing streak. I don't know if it was 6. And then you saw the tournament dominant. Dominant. This guy to my left talking about Gonzaga. We beat him by 40, okay? I don't want to gloat, but he was in the Slack talking about Gonzaga. We beat him by 40. Anyway.
Gloat all you want.
I hit it with the Ame. I hid the thing with the Ame. I told Mac, I said, listen, put the mic on. Don't show him. Because I hit it.
I'm saying they were brought to the glory land by Jersey City's finest, Dan
Hurley.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a good night.
Are you going to attend any championship celebrations?
So I did get invited to the Gamble live watch, but I couldn't make it because I got home from another trip I'm sure we'll talk about. Sandalgate 101. Okay.
You were going to saber a bottle of champagne for them?
But I did get invited to the Gamble watch, but I couldn't make it up to stores. But maybe we'll be back next year because that team is stacked. The team is deep. Shouts to UConn men's basketball. Champions again.
Where does your status sit with the Alumni Association, Joe?
I don't know, but there may be some.
Do they need to put more respect on your name?
No, they don't have to put more respect on my name because we may be cooking something up.
Is it going to be?
Hey, Matt, nope, don't spoil. Both
I don't know
of you.
anything. I don't know anything.
I don't know
yeah,
anything.
because when it hits, I'll let you know.
Is there going to be?
Dave Matthews knows.
Is it going to be the Joseph La Puma School of Broadcast Journalism?
No.
Wow,
No.
they're going to do a building for you?
No, they saw me.
Booster money.
They saw me
Blue
review.
chip style?
They saw me review Mace's Welcome Back. They read that writing. They said we ain't giving him a wing. We ain't giving him a desk.
You know what we need? Joe was referring to a review he did back in his college newspaper days. Yeah,
my first one
when he was at UConn. I bet Good Burger could dig up that clip.
Oh, maybe.
Find the byline for us.
He can. Good Burger. Shouts to Good Burger. You know, sometimes I hit him before sneaker shopping if he has any old images.
Intrepid researcher.
He hit me. He hit me. He wanted to know about the Converse Penny commercial that they had. Didn't make the episode. Good Burger keeping me honest, though.
Penny Hardaway on sneaker shopping.
Go watch it.
Penny
when
Hardaway.
You pulled the puppet out of your pocket?
Come on. Come on.
Put the clip in here.
I know some of you were listening to audio, but this is video, baby. Okay?
Joe had the little Penny toy in his pocket. How did Penny react when he saw you reach into your pocket and start to pull that thing out?
Listen.
Wait.
He reacted fine. You know, listen. Could have been... Who knows what I...
He said, is that a penny in your pocket or you just happy to see me?
Who knows what I could have pulled out, but then a little penny came right out of the pocket. I kept it hidden.
That wasn't conceded?
Wait, what?
That wasn't conceded?
Who?
You pulled conceited out of your pocket.
What is that a joke? I don't even know.
Because he's short.
Oh, wow. I don't know. No, I didn't. It was a little penny.
Nice
but
episode.
Yeah, some good shoe history.
Yeah,
you know,
strictly
on a
for
week,
the shoe dogs.
Yeah, for shoe dogs on a week where, let's get to it.
It's shoe dog time.
Yeah, it
Air
is.
movie. Welty, have you seen the movie yet?
No.
Air, the movie comes out this week. I've seen it twice now.
You want me to preface it a little bit?
Please.
This guy, he went
What's
to
your,
an...
what's your Siskel and Ebert rating?
Hold on.
Okay.
See? Let's calm down.
Calm down. You're the one who came with the
Yeah.
bottles
But I'm
popping
trying
and
to
ripping
level
your
set.
shirt off.
Hold on. I
Okay.
know. Hold on, though.
Okay. I'm calm.
He saw the movie a while ago. Okay? I wasn't there for it, but I can imagine him in the screening with, I don't think he wears glasses, but the little fold-up glasses that you take out of your thing and put
the
them
Ray
on.
J's on?
Yep. Like this. They fold up, and I think he had a legal pad with a pilot pen, and he was just going through inaccurate, nope.
At the legal pad in the meeting like Rob Strasser?
Exactly. So you had some thoughts the first time.
I liked it more the second time.
He liked it more. Go ahead.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't want to discuss this movie in depth until we've all seen it.
Okay.
And I wish we could discuss it this week because it's coming out. But Welty, will you pledge to see it this coming weekend so we can talk about it next week? This is one of the biggest things happening in sneakers this year.
Probably not going to see it this weekend.
Damn, dude, people
Not
care
a
what we
chance.
have to say
He's going
about
to
the
see
movie.
Mario instead.
No, probably. I mean, it's Easter weekend, so I'm probably going to be doing more important things.
You can't stay a little bit informed?
All right, can you just give us a top level?
What about Monday night? Will you go see it Monday night? And we come in here and
Monday
record
Night
the next
Raw's
day?
on. He's not. This guy.
I
This
mean,
guy.
possibly.
Are you going to see? This is one of the biggest things happening in sneakers. You can't.
Someone wants to like pass me a link or something.
Wow.
This is the effort you're going to put forth?
No one's contacted me about seeing the
I
movie.
told you last week. Nobody contacted me either. You got to ask.
You
I
know
don't
the
even know
gif
who
of
to
the
ask.
ref where he's just in the middle.
I don't know who to ask.
All right, so he's not going to see it.
Jesus.
You liked it the second time. Would you like more? Just from
I think when I
35,000
went
feet.
in the first time, I was looking to be too critical. And I think that's important to approach things like this in a critical way. But the second time, I found it more enjoyable. I was a little bit more, just taking it all in. Yeah.
Not a boy.
Yeah.
Funny, right?
Funny movie.
Yep.
I
The
think that there are
soundtrack,
things
though.
you can nitpick if you want to.
Of course.
And I think that when you make a movie that's based around sneakers, you're going to get sneaker people who are obsessed with this stuff, who will go see it, or at least some of them will go see it. Welty's has better things to do.
He's not. Wait till the Spezial movie. He'll be front and center at the screening.
I think one of the most interesting things about it, and this is what I wrote about the movie, is that
When did you write it? It's coming out?
Well, by the time this...
Oh, what do you have cooking up?
Well, to me... Look, Welty's so bored. Look, I'm sorry I'm
No,
boring. Do
I'm
you want
not
to talk
bored.
about your tweets for a little bit? This is one of the biggest things happening in sneakers this year.
Wow.
And I'm going to
That's
bore you
where
by
we're
talking
going?
about the Air movie.
listening.
That's where
I'm
we're
listening.
going?
Oh, my God.
Wow, okay.
I'm listening.
He's listening.
I'm literally listening.
You were yawning? I didn't see you. Hold on. Wait, what'd you... I'm interested.
Okay, my biggest takeaway from the movie is this. Nike is a brand that has been very focused on making its own myth. And it's very, very focused on controlling the narrative around what Nike is, what Nike means in the culture, what has happened at Nike for the 50 years it's been in existence.
Okay.
And to me, the movie is significant because it doesn't come from the perspective of Nike. It comes from the perspective largely of Sonny Vaccaro, who we had on this podcast. Please go listen to it.
Yes.
He's listed as a consultant in the credits. Sonny Vaccaro's history of these things differs from the official Nike history. There were
Yes.
some squabbles over the past decade where someone would come out and say, oh, George Raveling was the MVP in signing Jordan, not Sonny, and people have downplayed his significance in this thing. Now, for pop culture at large, the biggest version of the story that exists is the Air movie, which is differing, to some extent from Nike's official line on these things.
Yeah.
So I just think that's interesting where it's a moment to me where Nike has kind of lost a battle in the culture wars. Not that it makes them look bad, but just that there's a different narrative that they didn't necessarily support that I think will be the prevailing one in history because it's part of this giant Ben Affleck, Matt Damon movie.
Totally. And do you realize now maybe exaggerating a little made it more of a enjoyable watch?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I thought it was enjoyable. There were some of the depictions who I was like, I didn't feel like we're quite right. I've never met these people, but the Peter Moore depiction didn't feel quite right to me. The Rob Strasser one didn't feel quite right to me. Also, I think a lot of these people are too pretty. Nike was started by a bunch of scruffy looking dudes out in Oregon making shoes. You're
saying Sonny Vaccaro's not a dime? My man Sonny?
I mean, like, Ben Affleck is too handsome to be Phil Knight. Maybe we've spoken about this before. Jason Bateman as Rob Strasser. Again,
That's my favorite.
Physically, it's a fine performance,
look
but
like him.
you know,
Yeah.
I feel like there's more they could have done there. And also, you know, as you all know, I could go on for hours about this, but I feel like they could have done a little bit more fan service in the movie. Fun sneaker stuff where people like us could look in the background and say, "Oh, that's cool," or a little
Easter eggs.
You know, yeah, things like that for the sneaker people. There's really not that much of it in here, and it doesn't feel like a sneaker movie. It's a movie about marketing and the sneaker industry to an extent, but I just wanted a little bit more, you know?
Okay. But you liked it overall.
I liked it.
What's this piece? Do I have to worry about this piece? Do I have to hit the boys, Ben and Matt? Be like, listen, I'm on the podcast with them. I don't control them, though.
Distance yourself
You
from me?
know?
Wow. No, it'll be out by the time this podcast is over.
Interview or no?
No. I mean, a lot of people here at Complex interview different people, so we're kind of,
Cool.
you know, I think somebody interviewed the screenwriter and costume designer and things like that, so there's plenty of air content on the site.
Okay. And he'll watch, you know, listen, you watch it by, you watch it by next year. We'll, you know, when it hits Amazon Prime.
Do you have the Prime login?
No, I don't.
Actually, I don't have any logins. I borrow them from everybody else.
I've been to the movies once in about maybe 4 or 5 years.
Of course, we have to ask what movie it was.
Just Top Gun Maverick.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
know
that a lot.
someone from Bayshore who hasn't been to the movie theater since Terminator 2. He always, and it's like an icebreaker when we go out. So.
Well, see,
yeah.
I just saw this morning that they're working on Shrek 5. Would you see that in the theater?
Probably not.
Okay. Sneaker stuff happening. Gucci, Adidas. Did you guys see this $120,000
Oh, I saw the
trunk
trunk.
that you can buy?
I saw the trunk. That's okay, but like, when are we talking about the ZXs though?
I love that shoe.
Beautiful
When are they
sneaker.
hitting?
Beautiful sneaker. It's already loaded on the Adidas website. I'm not sure if they have a release date out at the time of us recording this, but they're $980, Joe. I want the Gucci Adidas ZX 8000. I think it's a beautiful sneaker. Aqua original colorway, but $980?
You know why I could wear those? Not that, listen, is it okay if I could wear those? I could wear whatever I want. Okay? Because I used to wear them when I worked at Finish Line.
You can wear whatever you want?
Yeah, could wear whatever I want.
Is that what you were trying to prove to the people this past weekend
No,
on the
because
Kiss
I
trip?
don't need him. I don't need him coming here.
I didn't say
Time
any-
out. I don't need
I
him-
literally have not said one
I
word.
don't
I said
need
I
him
like the shoe.
coming
Did you
here,
say
me
calm
showing
down?
up.
Did you say earlier we need to calm down?
No, I
You
like
did.
the energy.
Okay.
Oh, no, I think because we were talking over each other. I don't need me coming here wearing them and then an hour and a half later,
I didn't say
I'm going
anything.
to the subway. I open Twitter and I see if you just became a fan of the ZX when Gucci did it, you're not a. That's why
I
I'm
didn't say any of
prefacing
that.
it. I'm kidding.
At,
But
at the gate with the lock and key.
exactly, exactly,
I just said I like the
exactly.
shoe. I think 900. It's just tough. $980.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
They're so good though.
So good. It's just a lot of money. Man.
I agree.
It's a lot of money, and maybe I sound hypocritical saying that because I would have happily paid the $2,500 or whatever it was for Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones,
Yeah.
but I felt like you could see the craftsmanship a little bit better in that, where I look at the Gucci Adidas, it looks awesome, but
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see the price tag in the construction.
It's just a mental thing. It's not about the quality or anything like that for
Yeah.
me. I just have a hard time when a shoe is like worth that much money.
Yeah.
Just wearing something.
Putting it on your foot.
Yeah, it's like when people. Not that I don't understand the concept of it, because clearly this is the world that we operate in.
And you and I have caped for Adidas Gucci for a while.
Yeah, but just the idea in general, whether it's a designer shoe or it's a shoe you bought on resale, just I can't fathom sometimes the idea of spending like $1,000+
Yeah.
and then finding a situation beyond something super special where you're just gonna
Easter?
Oh,
Gonna casually
we,
just-
he knows. We know he ain't going to see the movie. Maybe on Easter.
That's
saw
tying it all
Har-
back together because Gucci, Adidas, Complex
go.
Sneaker of the Year
Yeah.
panel,
There we
Yeah.
go.
Easter.
The
It's
shoe
all,
looks like they're made for Easter, right?
They're fire.
It's all tied
They're
together.
fire.
trust me, it's tied together. Great
Joe.
look for Adidas.
Are we gonna talk about?
Wait. I do want to talk about that. Can we mention real quick a bad look for Adidas? We got to keep them on as always. This BLM thing.
What was that, man?
Adidas just rescinded its request asking the U.S. Patent Office to dismiss BLM's application to trademark a logo featuring 3 stripes. Adidas has been super bullish on protecting this 3 stripes thing. They just lost a lawsuit to Tom Brown. Any version of anything that has 3 lines on it, they're going to go after you. I understand it to an extent when it has to do with apparel companies or, of course, footwear companies. But when you're coming after an activist group like BLM and they have the 3 stripes on there and you feel like it's somehow infringing on your trademark, it's like, this actually reminds me of a conversation we had with Damon John on Full Size Run where he was saying it shouldn't be an issue if you're not in the same industry. You know, if they're overlapping trademark things or things look alike, but you're not making the same stuff as the person who originally owns it, then it shouldn't be an issue. And like, obviously, Black Lives Matter is not making sneakers. Maybe they're going to sell some shirts with this mark on it, but I'm glad Adidas, you know, decided to rescind that. Again, as per usual, struggle to understand the decision-making at the brand that led to them in the first place challenging this, but glad that they have rescinded that.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's hold Joe accountable now.
Wow.
Welty, please.
So Joe, as he's wont to do, popped out on another kit trip this weekend.
See the tan.
You didn't go.
Where were you?
I was in the Bahamas.
Oh, that was in the Bahamas?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were just off like the Long Island Sound or something.
No.
Thought you were in West Egg?
No. We took a fishing trip on the Long Island Sound. No, we were in the Bahamas, baby.
So you went international once again, right?
But what Hove say?
The little
Trip to the Bahamas. On the God did verse.
It's like, you know, your version of Ocean's 11, the gang's back together.
Who is Joe in that gang in terms of Ocean's 11?
I'm not sure.
I hope George Clooney. Is he one?
Yeah, George is one of them.
Okay. Is that a good one to be?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys had a trip for Kith collaboration
With Columbia.
with a fan favorite of mine, or a personal favorite. I wear it all the time, but
Oregon's own.
Columbia PFG.
Yes.
Which I've been championing for quite a minute.
And then let's just make this as a footnote on this. You know who was born at the mouth of the Columbia River. You know who could
Dunne.
see the Columbia River from his house growing up.
Oh, maybe
Yeah,
you,
boy.
maybe
Keep going.
You
So
guys should have went.
You went on the trip as you're all outfitted in the gear, and you know it feels like hey, hold on, let me just. It feels like when you go on these things like the Kith book, like Ronnie will outfit you guys in certain things where he maybe personally picks the pieces for you. Is that safe to say or no?
Personally picks the
like
pieces.
you get the outlet.
You get a bunch of pieces when you arrive.
Yeah.
However, go ahead, keep going.
Does he? I'm just questioning.
Does he curate it?
Yeah, like each individual. Does he tailor it to like Joe's gonna wear this, so you don't pop up in the same thing?
No.
But Joe ended up in the white Tiva-esque sandals.
Yeah, Kith Columbia sandals.
The second
and
time,
you know what?
The second time Ronnie's put you in all white footwear, which we all know. You won't pop up in white Air Jordan 4s, but you will pop up in white Tiva sandals with no socks on.
Okay, timeout. Hold on. First of all, GFY, because you skipped over the Fear of God Birkenstocks, which I wore the first night.
Which I did give you a lot of credit for.
Because they're fire.
Yeah.
Popped out in those. Second, he didn't make me wear anything. It was a fishing. Okay, so I wore the Asics though, 1330s.
Yeah.
Those are white. That's I'll give you the Asics 1330s in all white because I probably wouldn't wear them outside normally. I wore them though, like just to walk around and
got the whole thing bleached.
Exactly. I wore them in the morning.
Yeah.
The white Kith Columbia sandals I wore because we were going fishing.
I think, right? Do you want
What's wrong with that? However, Ronnie posted the photo. I got so many ats. I got so many ats because I was wearing the sandals.
People holding you accountable. I love that.
You guys want to wear sandals? I would.
You know what? There was a period of time where I was looking for a vintage pair of Nike.
The Shoots?
The Shoots, exactly.
Oh.
I wore Tivas a lot in high school. I'm not gonna lie. I spent some summers just in the Tivas.
So did I. But the Reefs, the Reefs were like the step up to me. But these were not. They're not Tivas. They're Kith Columbia. I wore them on the boat. Did
you catch anything?
No. The sea was angry that day.
You
Nunez caught something.
Victor Cruz.
Sean Brown. Victor Cruz reeled that in. I didn't catch anything. We got on the boat. Tons of vibes. We're playing Drake, 21 Savage, a vibe. 3 hours, though, on the fishing boat.
You threw up?
No. I never really fished, but yeah. It was long. It was long, but such a great trip. Shouts to the fam. everyone's saying, "Oh, you got to bring the sandals back." I may wear this. I'm going on vacation too in a couple weeks, and I may wear the sandals again.
I get the impression if you like were to catch like a big fish, like catch a marlin or something, and it's like a 30-minute reeling in, you're just like
Give up.
You're like, dude, it's just taking too long. Someone cut the line.
He's right.
Look
So
down at
like
your
they had
phone or
2
something.
seats. So listen, they had 2 seats on the boat, right?
Do they let you drive the boat?
No, they had 2 seats on the boat to when you reel in the fish, right?
Yeah.
And like Vic caught one, then it was I think Nunez, and then they replaced like the seats, the 2 seats.
Yeah,
so
rotate them.
yeah, so if you're sitting in the seat, the next
You're
fish
up.
that
Next man up.
I never sat in the seat. I stood back. So
You benched yourself.
Yeah, exactly,
The important
exactly.
question was: so you were
Here's
toes
the
out,
important one.
Toes
toes
out.
out with the thing. Were the toes did, Joe?
they weren't did. And I would have done them if I knew.
Had you had a heads up.
Yep, I would have, but I didn't. They were fine. My toes are fine, but they weren't did, and I would have done it if I knew I was going to go sockless. They were adding me on Instagram. You let the dogs out. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? They were adding me on Ronnie's Instagram. Great trip, always appreciative. Those trips force me to
Out of your
relax.
comfort zone?
Huh?
Out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
asking you who let the dogs out, and now you're saying the Huskies are here.
Full circle weekend.
You know?
Last secret moment we just want to talk about real quick before we get our guest. Something I was excited about over the weekend at WrestleMania.
Oh God, jeez. You guys. Go ahead. I'm just
Go.
This
Night
is
one.
good. I'm gonna do like you did me during the Air movie. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna look
take
down.
a breath. Yeah, look. Yeah,
I'm gonna
look.
take a
Zoom
nap.
in, Babs.
Hey, might as well.
Go. I know the Cena, right?
Yeah,
I have
John.
nothing to add.
The backstory.
John
Go ahead,
Cena.
talk about
Well,
wrestling.
no one really saw him wear the shoes, but he showed up to WrestleMania to wrestle somebody that nobody cares about, Austin Theory.
Oh, you can't stand him.
Yeah.
You really.
But he
Okay.
shows up. We're in the Slack. We're like, hey, John Cena's wearing Air Force Ones. What are they? Little did you know he popped out in the custom Kowloon Air Force Ones. Kowloon, a restaurant in Saugus, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Stone's throw from the Foot Locker I used to work at.
Okay, that's cool.
Did you
That's-
say-
I was just super excited. I guess the shoes were like they made a customs, but they were $500 to buy from the restaurant, and maybe you got hooked up with food.
you could buy the custom Air Force Ones at the restaurant?
I think that they were they actually.
The restaurant made them?
Yeah,
That's
it,
awesome.
It wasn't that. Yeah, it wasn't a custom that he had just gotten done. I don't know if he had purchased them, but he had gotten them from the restaurant.
That's amazing. When I
John
step
C-
out in the PF Chang's twos,
Oh,
a
forget
wrap.
it. Forget it. Are you kidding?
Old Country
The lettuce
Buffet
wrap
fives?
ones? Wait, did you and the gang ever go through after you had a good commission day? You go across the street, put some insoles into. You actually put some insoles into shoes. You ever go for a celebratory dinner
I
there?
believe so. Yeah.
No, you did. Okay.
Mongolian barbecue.
Okay. Do you know that? Do you know that at Complex Con I've snuck away and ate PF Chang's Dolo?
I salute you.
Bad.
Joe, if there
It's
had to
true.
be- if there had to be
Everyone asking, "Oh, what are you guys doing for dinner?" I think I'm just gonna stay in the hotel or whatever. I sneak out the back door. Dave Matthews asking me what I'm doing. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna stay in." I go and I have PF Chang's Dolo.
If there had to be one restaurant for you to represent in like a custom Air Force One for a big moment, what are you putting on foot?
Chain restaurant?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, that's a tough one because I don't want to go. What I will say is, shouts to. I'm not going to answer that because I don't know, but shouts to Chris Stamp who was on the trip. He did the Nobu Air Force One.
There we go.
Yep.
I like Nobu, but
Brendan, for you. Well,
it wouldn't be Nobu. I'm not saying that, but
I will think about it. I will
Yeah,
have an answer
that's
for
a
you
tough
next week.
one.
I will think. Yeah, it's a huge question. Should we bring on our guest?
yes.
we should. Let's keep the energy up. Our guest on today's podcast is a professional skateboarder who broke new ground thanks to a legendary part in Toy Machine's Welcome to Hell skate video in 1996. As a professional, she has been signed to Nike SB, Baker, Spitfire, and created her own apparel line with her brand Gnarhunters. Among a packed trophy case is 4 gold X Game medals and collaborations with Nike SB on both a Dunk and a Blazer Mid. Here to talk all about her skate and sneaker history is today's guest, Elissa Steamer. Elissa, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I said this earlier. I'm a little tired, but we brought the energy.
We
up
did
right
bring
before
the
you came here,
energy.
so we got to keep the energy high.
Oh, I made you come in a half hour early.
No,
No,
not at all.
Just some hangover from the weekend activities, but we're here. maybe we start with what you're wearing. That's your shoe, isn't it?
This is my colorway, yeah.
Okay, your colorway.
This is my colorway, yeah. And I didn't wear it here on purpose as like a, shameless self-promotion. Yeah. It's just really good to skate in, and I wanted to get some clips while I was out here. So
this is the SB Verona slip-on.
Verona
right?
slip.
Yeah, the yellow. What is the exact shade of yellow? Did you pick it out?
No, honestly, when I was picking the colorway, they just had like some random mustard-looking yellow up on the
that one
on the screen.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that color's cool.
Sunshine yellow.
Yeah. I mean,
Heinz yellow.
Probably if it wasn't that dirty, it would be sunshine yellow. But now I'd call it, kind of like, I don't know, spicy brown mustard.
How many pairs did you get of those?
Of my colorway?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, a box of them, probably like 10 or 11 or something.
Yeah, I do wonder how that works. Like, if you have a shoe, can you just ask them for unlimited pairs whenever you want,
Well, they only make it for a certain amount of time. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure if I was like, I need, a full-size run for my friends. If I need that for my friends or something, yeah, I'm sure they would give it to me.
Are you saying we're friends?
I consider us friends.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's how you started off. That's how we're starting off.
Package, I love that. My shoes are a little beat up as well. This is a Nike Air Stasis Footscape. This is from like 1996. They are pretty clean, but there's like
in Japan.
Well, no, I've had these for a while actually. Little collector's piece. Although I bought them off eBay back in the day, and this thing happened where I don't know if you've ever had this happen where you buy something on eBay and they ship it in the box. They don't like double box it. They just like so it says cool.
They put the shipping
Nike
label
box,
on the box,
and they like wrote my address on the box and just like slapped a sticker on there. And
Damn.
Stuff, so. But the shoes are relatively clean. There's like a weird a mark at the toe box. I was a little nervous. I haven't worn these very many times. I was like walking very gingerly coming in here.
Okay.
Let's talk about these pants, though.
Do you want to? Usually
Looks like you got a double gauge corduroy on.
Yeah, how about that? 2 different whales. Really letting Willie free today.
I'm doing Navy New Balance 992 just to match the UConn dry fit shooting shirt.
These are the Raised by Wolves Saucony Grid Azura 2000. That's a mouthful. I didn't realize. I forgot when I put these on that they're see-through.
Yeah.
So it's like the color of the sock, actually.
Yeah, just like the Jordans. Remember with the see-through window on the side.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with the socks when you pull those out.
Yeah, you got the sunroof. The sunroof is out.
Alyssa, where should we start with you? Like, where does your sneaker journey start? Do you remember those OG Powell Peralta, Air Jordan 1s? Is it Life's a Beach shoes? Like, what is it for you?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it really starts in like probably middle school, like playing basketball or something in some Delta Force.
Okay.
Seeing the Revolution commercial, remember with the
of course.
Beatles track?
Yeah. 1987, yeah.
Yeah, when the air bubble first came out and stuff like that is where it really begins. But yeah, I remember, all that. Life's a Beach shoe, Bad Boy Club.
Mm-hmm.
Vans, Maui and Sons. I'm vintage.
Yeah.
Did the Revolution ad make a big impression on you? Do you remember like asking your parents like, I need
Oh,
the Nike Air
absolutely.
Max?
But I remember the shoes were $110 and my parents were like, absolutely not. There's no way. My mom was like, yeah, it's not happening. But she would take me to Marshall's and get me like the big old Adidas and the big old Cons.
Yeah,
The last size on the shoe
like
rack.
white with orange stripes or
Yep.
something like that. And she'd be like, why do you want such big shoes? And I was like, because they're going to last long to skate.
Yeah, usually it happens the other way around, where your parents are making you size a couple pairs up in order to last them for a while, but you were economical early.
Yeah, yeah.
There's one shoe that we have in common. So in Welcome to Hell, you're skating in the mid-top shell toes, right? With the strap. That's a shoe that I had 2 pairs of in high school. But I don't know why. It was just like the strap on the shell toe to me was like such like a cool shoe at the time.
You could just let it fling around and stuff.
Do you remember, like, I know a lot of people were like skating in Adidas, like Mike York, Kareem, all those guys were skating in the early 90s. But do you remember that shoe?
Yeah. I remember having multiple pairs of that shoe.
Mm-hmm.
They were probably at Marshall's.
How, like those classic models, obviously like before the skate shoe boom, what was it like the testing of what classic models are going to be good to skate in. How are you like going through that? Was it just whatever you could get your hands on, or what? And do any models stick out that like were sleeper really good skate shoes?
Yeah, totally. Well, at first, you know, it was like whatever you could get, like at Marshall's, whatever you could afford.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you get a job, and then you could afford like whatever might be stylish.
Yeah.
But I would still, all my money went to the Gap, and then I would only have a little bit left over to buy shoes.
Okay.
But I remember I got a pair of GTS, Nike GTS, back in the day.
Okay.
Probably like 95 or something like that. And those were like the greatest shoes to skate in. And I have a pair on ice at home right now that I'm going to break out soon.
And then like Supreme ended up like collaborating.
Yeah, they did a Supreme GTS a while ago. I have a black with white sole pair at home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like a $60 shoe or something like that.
Yeah, totally. And that's why I bought it, you know.
Did you make a conscious transition when you started skateboarding of you felt like you needed different sneakers? Because you're talking about playing basketball and having all these actual basketball sneakers. Was it a thing where you just had to switch your whole style?
Yeah, well, basketball sneakers turned out to be the best skate shoes anyways.
Yeah.
Right? Air Jordan 1's the best skate shoe.
They are. It wasn't like just a matter of, you know, we Tony Hawk obviously and the whole that moment, but like they were actually really good skate shoes. It wasn't because they were just cheap and funneling them to
the
you
Air
guys.
Jordan 1 is, I mean, other than these shoes, I have Air Jordan 1 Low OG.
Wow.
Black with blue, white
Really?
sole.
And you
In the
skate
hotel
those?
room.
Oh.
And they're so good to skate in because they're like flimsy, but you can't, it's like they're different, you know? Low OG is the one. If it's not the OG one, the tongue's really tall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like a little different, but yeah, Air Jordan 1's has always been the best skate shoe.
Were you into that?
I think.
I think Costin did the collaboration on the Jordan 1 Low.
Yeah,
A couple years ago. Were you into that pair? Or?
I was, but I hadn't started really skating in Jordans. I was still in. I like a slip-on. This is the best shoe for me. Like thin board feel is important for me. I don't really jump down big stuff anymore, so I don't really care about the cushioning in the sole. And the Air Jordan 1 and stuff like that, like, came later in my life.
Yeah.
But you prefer the low, not the regular high one. He's a low.
I cut
he's
the
a
highs
low.
into lows.
Yeah,
Oh,
He's a
really?
low.
I like
Oh,
lows.
you do. Okay.
Like they did with the Caballeros back in the day. You just
Absolutely,
Duct
yeah.
tape 'em up?
Yeah, I'll even put duct tape on it.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a low guy. He could
Yeah.
only kickflip, but he's a low Jordan 1 guy
More
too.
than that. But,
Wait, you
Oh,
can
I'm
do
sorry.
more?
I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
wasn't great, but I mean, I just yeah. Were you into the idea of like chillin' shoes back in the day? Was that something for you? Because I know people.
Oh,
always,
absolutely.
So like what? Like you'd skate in something, but what would be like your pair of chillin' shoes? Like
Timberlands.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I went through a weird hippie phase, and I wore Birkenstocks for a minute.
Yeah.
Which I might get a pair soon because
Fear of
they're
God ones.
really comfortable.
Okay.
But yeah, I still wear chilling shoes. Sometimes I feel awkward if I'm not skating in sneakers. So I'll just like wear some like boots or something like that. I have some Sperry high top boat shoes that are pretty cool looking with a chunky sole. I got these Timberland Supreme like alligator looking things.
Where'd you pick up the Timberland thing? Because you're from Florida, and then you were kind
Wu-Tang.
of okay. Okay,
Oh.
that was it
Nice.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like regionally, the places you've lived, as far as I know, didn't make a lot of sense that Timberland would mean a lot to you.
Yeah, no. All Wu-Tang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was there anything like you had like a pair of chillin' shoes or anything funky that you ended up skating in? Because you always see like all these like old photos of like Stevie Williams skating in like Air Max 95s, and you're
Right.
like, that couldn't have been planned because it's not the shoe you're going to go out and
Right,
skate in.
right,
But was there
right.
any like Nikes or anything like that back in the day?
Well, back when I used to ride for Etnies, Tom Penny would skate in boots
yeah.
and Timberlands,
Wow.
and he was the god. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I would skate in Etnies made boots also. I don't know what they're called, but they made several different hiking boots and stuff like that. So I would skate in those back in the day.
Did you ever skate in the Tims?
No, no, because by the time I wanted to skate in Timberlands, I already rode for Etnies.
Got you. That
Like
that
95.
sounds such a psychotic skating in Timberlands.
Man.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do you remember your first pair of like free sneakers? You know, who put you on flow first in terms of footwear? Was that
Etnies.
yeah?
Yeah.
Before you were actually like a pro for them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How frequently were the boxes coming in?
Oh, once a month or whenever you need shoes. I mean, back in the day, it was like, you call up. When you're a youngin', call up. Can I get some shoes? Yeah, and they send you a box of 3 or 4 pairs of shoes, And then you're like, oh, I want to call and get more, but I don't want to overstep. You know what I mean? Now I'm just like texting Scuba all day. Like, I need this. I need this.
Would you ever sell any of the shoes back in the day? Because I know that's like a big thing with all like the flow riders would sometimes sell their boards and everything. But
I sold everything.
Really?
When I moved to California, I was broke. You can't live off of an amateur skateboard salary.
Yeah.
In 1996 was $0.
Wow.
So I sold everything I had.
Was it taboo? Did people know what was going on? Did the people at
No,
the brands care?
I would say, like, I need more stuff so I can live, I need to live. I would get, like, at Toy Machine, I had a $300 a month allowance, which is, like, 10 boards, a pair of pants, a couple T-shirts, and a hoodie, and some wheels. And I would keep, like, 2 boards and a set of wheels, and I would sell the rest.
And then once you signed to Etnies, how far after that did a signature shoe come?
I got on Etnies. I was flowing like 95, 96, and then I kept kind of like moving up a little bit, and then in like 99, I remember I was like, we're gonna do a shoe, and I was so pumped.
Yeah, what was it like? Did you have the design in mind already, or
Yeah,
really?
I did. It was I was in Japan, and I got some like Timberlands with like I don't know, they weren't like boots, they were more like a hiking shoe boot hybrid kind of. I wouldn't know what they're called, but they had like windows like with some mesh on them, and it was like cream with a black toe cap and orange.
Probably the Euro hiker.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, and I got them and I brought them. And I was like, I want to make something like this. And we did. And it was a cool shoe. I mean, it was sick. I think some of the colorways that we picked, I don't want to blame them, but we picked.
I like that. That's very unselfish.
Some of the colorways that we picked could have been better. But yeah, it was a great shoe. The black ones were so sick.
It's awesome though that you were like in Japan thinking about the design, and then you brought the shoe back to America. And like, a lot of people or a lot of artists or like pro athletes and stuff, sometimes it's like they work with the designer. I'm sure you did, but like to have that idea when you were getting the signature shoe already like cooked up from like hunting in Japan is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, when you're like in that mode of like you have to make something, you're just like constantly looking around, like, seeking inspiration. Or
That's way better than me. We had Reebok CEO Todd Krinsky on here, and he was trying to offer me a shoe, and I froze up in the moment. I had nothing.
Bricked it.
Why?
He bricked it. Yeah, put him right on the spot.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Put him right on the spot. Yeah, put him right on the spot.
Did Muska ever put you on any sneakers or style? I know he was like kind of influential in putting you on tour.
I mean, yeah, totally. Everything he did, I was just like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
What sneakers did he wear? Well, we rode for the same companies. He rode for S though.
Yeah.
When S started, and I remember I wanted to ride for S. Because I was like, Elissa Steamer, it works perfectly.
Oh, wow.
And I was telling them, I was like...
You always had the vision, Elissa.
Yeah.
It's always right there.
Yeah.
Vision-oriented, for sure. And I would always tell them, like, this would work great. Because it was Tom Penny, Chad Muska, whoever else. That was all that mattered to me, was Tom Penny and Chad Muska. I was like, I want to ride with them, but didn't work out.
Did you try?
Every time I went in there, I would be like... Tell Don Brown, I was like, I want to ride for S.
Did you wanted the weed pocket on your shoes like Chad?
Yeah, for sure.
When you did get to do the Etnies sneaker, was there a lot of back and forth in terms of design, or you just kind of came with those ideas and they presented
there
you
was
with
back
the
and
shoe?
forth. Yeah,
like samples and things like that.
Yeah. I would like. I was living in LA at the time, so I would drive back and forth to Huntington Beach, and probably, I don't know, once or twice a month, and meet with this guy Frank. French guy who's a designer.
He's a French guy named Frank?
Yeah, I know.
Francois.
Yeah, he was hecka cool. And I brought him the shoe, and then they'd bring me the sample and be like, what do you think about this? I think we kind of nailed it, though, first go.
Yeah.
Not first go, but like, we're in the right direction.
Yeah.
First try.
Did the sneaker money change your life at all? Was that significantly more than you were making up to that point?
Yeah, I mean, the sneaker money didn't change my life because the shoe didn't sell that well.
Mm-hmm.
And my contract was not the most desirable contract.
Mm-hmm.
It was a different time in skateboarding and a different time in knowledge of myself back then.
Mm-hmm.
But
you felt like you didn't ask for
the
enough money
definitely helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like seeing your shoe in like the CCS magazine back in the day?
I mean, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it's like amazing. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge moment for you, though.
No, it was. It was like, but I had to fight for that. I wanted that shoe. I had to tell them, this is what I want. You know what I mean? And I had to tell them. I'm sure they were cooking it in their minds, like, oh, we should do this shoe. You know what I mean? But if I wouldn't have been on them, they probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. When did the sneaker come out? Do you remember?
99 or 2000, one of those years.
Right around the same time as Tony Hawk.
Yep, exactly. That was life-changing money.
How much?
I don't know.
A couple $100,000.
I mean,
Wow. Talk about that moment, though. Talk, obviously life-changing. Talk about how that came about, like, before and then after, and what it was like.
What, the game?
Yeah.
The Tony Hawk game? I mean, I remember seeing it. I was at Jamie Thomas's garage, and I actually just did a podcast with Tony Hawk, like, not too long ago, and we, like, had this discussion. But I remember seeing it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I'm not an avid gamer, but when I was a kid, I was like, I would skip school to play Nintendo all day and stuff like that, or go to the nurse and get her to call my mom so I could go home and play Castlevania or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a cool looking game. And then Jamie was like, I think they want you in it. And I was like, that'd be dope. And then Mark Waters, rest in peace, best guy ever, he called me a couple days later and was like, hey, these people at Activision, they're hitting us up. They want you to do this video game, blah, blah, blah. Here's, a signing thing. And I was like, let's do it. And then I signed, and we didn't know how much money we were going to make because they had us on a royalties program of like, if the game sells this much, you'll get this much royalties. If it sells this much, you'll get this much royalties. And it turned out that like the first 3 were like the best selling games of all time or something.
It was a smash.
It was a smash. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I imagine that's what like somebody who gets a record deal feels like. They have like a hit single
Just
or
the
something.
streaming numbers going on. Yeah.
Did you do any like mocapping? Like, did they put the stuff on you?
Yeah. No, never the suit with the balls.
And the green screen.
Yeah, but like they would like film like how I skated, and I think that without putting the suit on, they try to do their best of like making that, and then I'll do like voiceover stuff. And,
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a weird time in my life.
How many people do you get coming up to you these days who like that's like the moment they like or the place that they recognize you from the video game?
Like a percentage of the people,
Yeah,
or like how often?
How
or something?
often, I guess, or
I don't know. Once a day, maybe
Wow.
once or twice a day.
Did you pick your own tricks, the special moves? Or was it the
I
judo
think
Madonna
so.
and like the primo grind?
I think so. Or maybe they had a list of tricks, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, those are cool.
Were you playing it a lot when it came out?
No,
No, you didn't care. You're like, I'm living this.
exactly.
That's cool.
I mean, I would look at it and I would try to play it. It's just to see what I look like or
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I didn't really play it.
I
that much.
played it a lot.
You did?
I feel, you know what? I feel like there are probably not that many people in the world who played the demo for number 2 more than me. We had the demo disc, I feel like, from maybe official PlayStation magazine. And it was big. It's when they added the manual.
I was disappointed because I had Tony Hawk. I had Tony Hawk 1, but I had Tony Hawk 2 as well. But I had 2 for N64, not for PS2.
Not as good.
And it wasn't it was not the same.
But you were skating in real life. I wasn't.
Yeah.
True.
You were actually out there getting footy, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Good for you.
Somewhere in the ether of the.
Somewhere in the ether. We got to dig those clips up.
So, what was your thoughts when Nike like launched SB first into skating?
I think I was like, man, I want to be on that.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
You were in that hater zone because I feel like when Nike was first trying to make
Never.
skating shoes. Alyssa, come on.
Never.
You didn't think it was corny at all?
Never. The first time,
Yeah. with the chode and the
I
stuff
was
in the
kind of
90s.
like whatever. I was hanging out with Bam a lot then,
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
was like
yeah.
riding for them, and he was in their commercials and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I saw the shoe, and I was like, the shoe doesn't look cool.
Was that the
But
the
still,
Xavier?
it was Nike though.
No, he was
you
just
know?
straight on Nike. Like if
Okay.
you watch like the early
Bam. Viva La Bam.
no what's the
There's that ad they did in the
I'm
90s.
blanking.
What is the name of the ad? It's like
Was it-
skaters are athletes too, or something like that.
No, what if we treated all athletes like skateboarders?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I thought that was a great campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
thought it
when
was
Nike
great.
SB launched properly in the 2000s, you were early on wanting to be involved.
Well, I mean, I grew up, watching Michael Jordan and stuff like that. So I thought Nikes are the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I wanted to be involved.
Did you like?
I was happy with where I was at and what
At
I was
Etnies
doing.
at the time. Yeah.
What about like the dunk boom and like all the collaborations and things like that? The skate shops being
You know
flooded.
what's crazy is I knew that it was happening, but I wasn't in tune really. I
Yeah.
didn't like know about sneakers and I didn't like know about like reselling and stuff like that. But I remember being in Philadelphia at Nocturnal and them just being so irritated with people calling about like Heineken dunks or something like that. And just like they just get so irritated.
Now you know how that feels now that you're signed it because people call you all the time. And
Nah,
can I get
nah,
a pair
nah,
of Veronas?
nah. Every once in a while somebody hits me up, but it's usually a friend. I'm happy to help out.
Because I remember like when SB first launched, I was like, I had like the subscription to Thrasher, and they'd always had like the Nike ad, like it was always in the back of the magazine, and like everyone was like kind of skeptical because you're like, oh, Nike isn't skating.
Yeah, I think it's because their first run was kind of skeptical.
But then
Yeah.
you would see, like the original ads that they had with like Richard Mulder and they had like the Danny Supa ad with like Vinny Ponte
Todd
in it.
Jordan.
And they're all like,
yeah.
oh, all these guys are super legit. So do
Yeah.
you feel like having all those people aligned with the brand just like made it super like okay?
Gino? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think, they, they gave it a shot.
Yeah.
They made weird looking shoes and then they came back again and just did the right thing.
And they signed you eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get to like your collaborations, I think like is it true that Lance Mountain like gave you some of your early skateboards?
Absolutely, yeah.
We talked about the Jordan 1 when he got that collaboration. What was that like?
Which one, the highs or the lows?
I think the first ones that scrape off. I mean,
love
there
those.
multiple ones scrape off, but the
He had
first
those, and I think there was a blazer as well that he had done.
yeah,
but
he's had like several
Yeah.
colorways.
but
yeah.
the first ones that scraped off to like reveal
Where they
different-
one was black, one was white.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that collaboration? Were you like not close to it, but seeing him get that?
Let me tell you about that.
Okay.
Okay. So that was probably 2013
Yep.
or 14.
yeah.
I was big into surfing at that time and I wasn't a professional skateboarder then.
Okay.
I quit riding for all my sponsors in 2011. I quit Zero, and then in 2012 Nike didn't re-sign me. And so I was just like took a hiatus and just went on surf trips and learned how to surf and started Gnarhunters and got a puppy and did all kinds of stuff. And so when I remember I hit up Scuba and I said I was like I want some Air Jordans. Not even knowing that collab was up. I just wanted Air Jordans because I thought it would be cool to wear like, tight jeans with Air Jordans, like a headbanger or something like that.
Right.
Well, look, this would be a cool look.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got both of those pairs. And I didn't even know that they were like, cool or whatever. I was like, oh, they gave me white and black. That's dope.
Did you skate them?
No, I wasn't skating then.
Okay, yeah, fair. Did you
Yeah.
like do the those shoes are made to
Scratch
distress
Yeah.
with wear, but sometimes people were like, you get
Oh,
some
they
rubbing
scratch 'em off on
alcohol,
themselves?
like get a Q-tip and do a
Nah.
cool little design to reveal the reds and the blues.
I didn't,
I got a
no.
pair on my desk right now.
Oh, they're so good.
That you scraped off?
No, I haven't really worn them that much, so they're still kind of just like black with like a little bit of the color peeking out.
So you guys like those ones?
I think I think you could call it a classic. That
Yeah.
first one is so good.
I'm pretty conservative with the word classic, but You're rolling your eyes. I like that. I might call it
Really
classic. That the black Lance Mountain Jordan ones. Yeah, I
It's
like
got a
those
red
lot.
stripe on the sole or something.
Yeah.
I always like hear these stories about skaters who were signed to Nike in like during the first like dunk craze, and they're getting all these limited shoes, and they kind of didn't realize. Like I think P-Rod was
Happened
on
to
here.
me.
Yeah, were there shoes that you didn't realize that you were skating in a shoe that's worth like $1,000
Yeah,
or
totally.
something?
Yeah.
What was it?
I don't even remember.
You still don't.
I just remember
Yeah.
like seeing shoes like these are wild, you know?
But they're there for you to skate, so you're just
Yeah.
like whatever, just throw them on.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how Hunter first brought you over to Nike SB? This was like 2008, 2009.
You know Hunter?
Yeah, he's a friend of ours.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love Hunter.
Of course.
So I was riding for Etnies, and
Mm-hmm.
they wanted to cut my pay and stop promoting me or something like that. And I was like, in the height of my skateboarding, probably, you know.
Yeah.
And I was actually with Brian Anderson at Nike Town, and he was like on a little shopping spree. And he hit me up because he was in Union Square, and I lived in North Beach. He's like, hey, come down and shop with me and get some stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went and got like a Tiger Woods golf towel and some golf balls. I was like, this is cool. I want to ride for Nike. And he's like, let me hit up Hunter. And he hit up Hunter, and I had a conversation with Hunter like on the stairs at Nike Town in SF.
Wow.
And it all came from there.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, totally down. What do you want? Blah, blah, blah.
Did it feel different than other brands you'd been associated with before that? Because obviously it's Nike SB and they operate kind of differently from Nike as a whole, but you're still part of this like giant corporation in a way. Was that different to you from Etnies or?
I mean, it felt the same. It was
Yeah.
like the accommodations were different.
Mhm.
But Etnies was always really cool too. Like Soltec took great care of everybody when you were out, on a trip or something. Like we got nice hotels and stuff like that. It was different than like a skateboard brand where you
Or a digital
Motel
media
6.
company.
Or what?
A digital media company.
They probably hook you guys up. Come on.
Sorry, go on.
You Motel 6ing? Yeah, it was like there was this certain sort of feeling of like, oh, I ride for Nike, It was
Yeah.
like I felt like Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods or something like that, Obviously I'm not, but it was nice. There was like perks, you know.
What was your first visit to the Nike campus like?
What was it like?
Yeah.
It was probably to sign my contract,
Yeah.
and it was like cool. Hunter picked me up from the airport. I think Brian came with me, and we stayed at the Hotel Lucia in downtown Portland, and went there, and I saw Michael Jordan's parking space, and walked in, and it was nice. It's cool. It's like huge place.
Yeah.
You guys been there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
They don't let me on campus sometimes.
Yeah, right. Really?
it's kind of a half joke, but yeah.
Yeah, but it was great. It was cool. Seeing like the little SB sort of like little section, you
Sure.
know. Yeah, it was great.
Did you go to the employee store on that first trip?
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
hard did you go?
I don't know. Whatever they gave me, I spent for sure.
Yeah. Oh, right. This is the difference of like asking people if they went to the employee store and they're actually Nike affiliated athletes, so they give you something. Like,
Yeah, I think
Like
it's
a-
probably like $500 or $1,000 to spend.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I remember back then is when I don't know if they still own Cole Haan, but
They don't, but yeah.
but I was in like this weird sort of femme phase, and I like got a bunch of leather purses and
Yeah.
stuff like
Did you have
that.
some lunar grands? The
What's
Cole-
a lunar grand?
That's the Cole Haan.
The
You know
dress
the lunar
shoe?
grand. It's
Yeah,
like,
like
the
the salt- yeah,
the
the
dress
light-
shoe with the Nike lunar foam on bottom.
Yeah.
No.
Never was a fan.
They had like the neon colors, right?
They had all these. I bought.
Yeah.
That's one of the most expensive shoes I've ever bought. Was a Cole Haan Nike like
Dress shoe.
fragment design.
You saw
My
that.
most expensive one I ever bought was a Cole Haan also. And it was before this employee store stuff and,
Yeah.
Nike Elite and all that. It was like, these woven, they look like Bottega Veneta or something,
There you go.
loafers, black. Ooh, they're nice. I still got them. I
Yeah,
still wear them
okay.
to weddings and
Okay,
stuff.
I need to. I still have the.
You wear with
fragment.
your Supreme suit to the wedding?
You think so?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, because
You got a Supreme suit?
yeah,
I
he
do.
does. He does.
Sick.
I wasn't sure if you're about to clown me.
No.
Okay, yeah.
You be putting that shit on too, like
you, Joe. The problem is it's a little bit of a clash because the pink, if you care to know, the pink on the fragment Cole Haan's is a real bubblegum pink.
Okay.
But the pink on the Supreme suit, it's more of a salmon.
Okay. A war of pinks.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Just wouldn't.
It's not gonna work.
It wouldn't feel right.
Do you go by Supreme when you're in New York and your mind mentally, you're like, yeah, I just want to go into Supreme, and then you see like 1,000 kids standing outside, and you're like, well, that's not gonna happen.
I went in there the other day, and there was like not a bunch of kids out there.
Not a Thursday, I guess.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Thursday.
Yeah.
It was Sunday.
They let you skip the line?
Yeah. There was no line.
Okay. But in general.
Yeah, I was walking around the Lower East Side, and I
Yeah.
needed to use the bathroom, so I popped in there, and they let me.
Damn, you got bathroom privileges at Supreme?
Yeah.
That's the level I'm aspiring to. I have that feeling all the time of walking down Bowery, being like, let's swing by Supreme today.
There's not even a release going on or anything.
Yeah.
There's just 150 kids standing in line.
And we're too famous.
It was also early in the morning. It was like 11.
Okay.
They probably just opened, you know. You guys are too famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
I'm glad you agree with that.
You guys are
assessment.
superstars.
Thank you.
Not only in my eyes, everybody's eyes. I'm telling you.
During the pandemic, a really big shoe to release, the Grateful Dead Dunks. And you helped debut the most limited colorway,
Yeah.
the orange, the FTC San
Yep.
Francisco.
Yep.
How did that come about? And talk about that shoe a little bit.
I think it came about because I'm like the only Nike rider probably in San Francisco, at least that I know of. And they needed some marketing, so I got lucky.
What was it like putting being one of the first? We were in the era of like whoever get team early, whoever gets them first is like such a mad scramble online. But like, what was it like to debut them, skate in them, and like get all those marketing promos?
I mean, it was kind of just business as usual.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I remember while we were filming the marketing, it was probably a couple months before they came out. Maybe a month. I don't know. Some kid saw me on the street and was like, what? And I was just like, oh. But he was like tripping, yeah.
Did he try to take a photo or?
Nah.
Okay.
He was just talking about him.
Did you have a feeling that it was going to be a big shoe, or you just kind of like didn't know?
I didn't know. But I think it was kind of like right around the time as the Ben & Jerry's one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shortly
and that
after
was like a
those
big
two.
deal. But yeah, I think the orange ones were a bigger deal than the
yellow
I
and
don't
the-
want to say a bigger deal, but
More limited.
yeah.
Did you have the Chunky Dunkies, the Ben & Jerry's ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
You're a fan?
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you eat
I'm
ice
probably
cream out
not
of the
gonna
shoe?
like wear them all the time,
Right.
but yeah, they're cool.
What's the occasion? Yeah, what's the occasion we're wearing? Because I
don't
kinda
know.
want
I think
would
it's
you-
just to hold them and look at them.
Would you skate them?
Okay.
I would. I love SB. Mm-hmm. I love SB dunks.
Yeah.
They're a little thick for me.
Okay.
Doesn't have the board feel that you need.
They have the board feel that I need. It's just a little bit longer of a break-in process.
Okay.
But I know they're dope, and
Yeah.
I like them.
You made your own.
I did. Well, yeah, I made a Gnarhunters one.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
It's kind of a big deal, huh?
How did that start?
How did that start? Just like me and Nike SB wanting to do a collab,
Yeah.
a Gnarhunters collab. Yeah, I think them wanting to help me and me wanting to be helped.
And you had the blazer before that. Just in terms of picking out the silhouettes, the Gnarhunters one, I assume that y'all came together on the dunk, and that was a big moment for the dunk. But like the blazer before that, had you picked out the blazer, or did they pick out the blazer? Or how does that work?
We were gonna do a blazer colorway for me.
Isn't the blazer
As a-
your favorite?
It is.
Okay.
However, lately, I've been wearing more of the blazer court.
Okay.
It's kind of like canvas,
Yeah.
a little flimsier, But yeah, I love blazer. I think blazer's a great looking shoe. You guys like blazers?
Love the blazer.
You do? You love the blazer? No.
Kind
Okay.
of.
Yes, you do right away. I feel like the blazer's in a weird space right now where you see more of them than you need to, and you don't see a lot of good ones. You see everybody wearing that
The white
white
and black.
blazer
White and
with
black.
the black
Yes.
swoosh.
Yeah, and it has like a weird sort of like.
And they,
Yeah.
It's
They-
a
yeah.
gym
Yeah.
shoe too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's
People
like a
wear
Jim
it. Yeah.
Bro shoe.
I don't like that blazer, but I think there's a lot of incredible blazers. I mean, Supreme blazers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of beautiful blazers.
Wait, there was a recent Supreme blazer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
The
like
brown
kinda-
one?
Yeah, redid. No, the denim one and the black one.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Those
No,
were
sorry. It had a
sick.
brown. It didn't have
Did
a
not
brown
get
swoosh
those.
on it.
A brown swoosh?
I think it had like a brown snakeskin swoosh on the black
Yeah,
pair.
probably.
Yeah. You didn't get them?
No, wanted, asked for him, didn't get him.
The Zoo York Blazer is one of my favorites of all time.
What was that one?
2003. It's like gray with the blue swoosh.
Stussy Blazers. How did you not get them?
That's a great question.
You should have stood in line. You should have stood in line that day.
What was it like to see they did the Huff tribute dunks last year through Nike SB?
Yeah.
Did that like give you like emotions or feel like special?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's sad when anybody's gone, you know. Yeah. Especially like a great human like Keith, but yeah. I mean, it wasn't like crazy emotional, but it was like an honor to like be in the marketing for that and stuff like that, you know. That was super cool.
You said for Etnies you had the Timberland-esque design in your head. When it was time to do like the dunk, you played with like the materials on the black and white colorway.
Yeah.
How long did you have that design in your head?
Funny thing about that. Okay, so when it came to like we're gonna do a dunk, I was like, okay, I want to do something wild because it was like kind of on the coattails of the Grateful Dead and the Ben and Jerry's one.
Yeah, huge moment for the dunk.
So I was like, I want to do something wild, just like that. You know what I mean? And my first attempt at the design was like beachy, you know, because it was a Gnarhunters dunk, so I wanted it to be like...
Take it to Ocean Beach real quick.
Exactly. So I went to Ocean Beach and I took a bunch of pictures and we came up with this design of like what the seawall looks like, the graffiti on the seawall and the numbers on the seawall. And I made them put number 2 because I didn't want number 1 on it because nobody wants to be number 1. No. So we had this whole design, right? And then when it came, it wasn't wild enough. You know, the materials were semi-normal. And it was, if you didn't live in San Francisco, you wouldn't even know what it was.
Sure.
You know, so I wanted to do something wilder. So at the next attempt, me and my partner Rachel, we sat around and started talking about what to do. And I was like, oh, the swoosh on the original colorway that I did was neoprene, like a wetsuit. And that was my favorite part of it. So I was like, I'm just going to make the whole shoe neoprene. And so we did neoprene with towel and sort of like dug deep into surfing and like made like a leash sort of thing, like Velcro. And there's actually somebody in wherever they're made, like waxing the material.
Somebody at the factory.
So there's actually wax and there's actually like, I know people trip out on like the Paris dunks because there's no two are alike or whatever, right? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
So actually the Gnarhunters dunk is the same way. Like,
oh, wow.
Every one is waxed differently. Maybe somebody had a heavy hand, you know, that day or whatever. So yeah, I just like, the first attempt was too plain. So I want to do something wild, but I didn't want to do wild colors and materials. So that's why I made it like black and white. Black and white's the best thing.
Was there stress for you around its release? Because again, I'm thinking about that era that it's situated in. Maybe we're still in this era of how huge dunks are right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously you want like people to like it and like want it and pay like $800 for a pair or whatever, you know? But I don't think that was the case for it because I think it was pretty available for everybody, which is cool because I want everybody to have them.
But that's, to me, that's the stressful part, is making sure that people can get them, you know? And then they're like, oh, the bots ruined the release. And my local skate shop didn't sell me a pair. And things like that.
Yeah.
Like, do people complain to you about that when the shoe released?
No, not really. But I mean, I read on Instagram and everybody's like, oh, never going to get those or whatever, you know? They're just like, go into like, you know, despair straight away instead of like, maybe I'll get a pair or something. But, I mean, it wasn't stressful, but I was like, I want them to, you know, I want everybody to like them. But I also knew that, like, it's a neoprene shoe, you know, with towel on it. And it's like the lacing system was kind of cray, but I thought it was cool.
When you're a fan, you know, you kind of talk about like slimmer, sort of like more simplistic skate shoes. Obviously, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, skate shoes got like super crazy.
Yes.
You know, and had like 45 different materials on it, super thick, puffy tongues, and the air bubble on it. Did you like skating in those shoes back then, or?
Yeah, I guess that was like all I had.
Yeah.
But I feel like I never really had like a really puffy shoe.
Yeah.
You know, there was like these Etnies called Wrap.
Yep.
They were like a normal sort of skate shoe. They weren't too puffy or anything. Like I never had like a weird Osiris situation or anything like that. You know, it was either Wraps or a shoe called Calicut, which is like a Stan Smith. And then Nike was like Blazers and I remember the Verona before they redid it, like back in the day, and they had like the whatever that Air Jordan stuff is, the cement or elephant or whatever.
The print on it.
Yeah. I remember I had a pair of those, and I was hiking to a lake called Bass Lake, and it was like a mile hike, and I didn't have socks on with them, and I had to leave them.
Wow.
They're just cooked.
I walked back with barefoot.
This is the one time when the Timberlands would have been appropriate.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. If I had socks, would have been cool for sure.
Do you remember when the Janowskis first came out?
Yes.
That was right around the
That's
time
a
you
great
signed
shoe.
to
That's
SB.
that's one of my favorite Nike SBs.
Same.
That really hit hard.
It did, huh?
Welty, I know you're not a fan.
Not the biggest fan. But
Nick Restivo signature shoe.
No,
That
yeah.
was such a moment.
It was.
It was such a takeover. The Digi Camo colorways and things like that.
People
Cork?
who,
Yes?
people who are a fan of that shoe swear by like it's the best one.
It's a great shoe.
And it has to be one of the best-selling Nike SB shoes of all time. Like,
I think Stefan hit a homer with that one.
yeah.
I know he did.
Just in like the last few weeks, we've been talking about the Jordan 4 SB that released, and even in like the last few days, I don't know, it's like
There's a lot of hype for that. That was kind of like the Grateful Dead's or something.
Yeah,
like there's
yeah.
a lot of people talking about that.
And what's happening now, obviously we're in April, but I see like the titles of the YouTube videos, is this the sneaker of the year? And like we talked about it. What did you think about seeing that Nike SB Jordan 4?
Yeah.
Obviously the Jordan 4 is heralded as one of the classic Jordans, but like people really, really love that shoe.
Yeah. It's a great looking shoe.
Yeah.
It's
mean,
not for you. It's too
It's
big,
a little
right?
big. It's not. I would ball in them.
Okay.
What's the stat line looking like?
It's looking good.
Really?
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm looking good. I've been playing a lot. It's a beautiful shoe.
Okay.
Green and off white, white and gray, whatever it is. That was my high school color. So I think that's like cool.
I was hoping maybe the triple black sample wear test would come out, but it's not. Maybe like we do the Gnarhunter Jordan 4, you put the towel.
I'm already on it, and I've already been shut down.
He was so he was so disappointed because there was like early Instagram photos of Costin and P-Rod skating in the all black Air Jordan 4, but it was just the wear test sample, and he thought the all black was going to release.
Yeah, it might not even have been. I mean, I don't know. You guys probably know more about me, but they were sending everybody Jordan 4s to skate in to tell them like what should we do
Really?
to
Did
make
they
it
send
an
you a pair?
SB. Yeah.
Wow, wait,
Starfish.
how far out?
Oh man, I don't really.
So
remember.
so
a couple
Nike-
years ago, 2 years ago, probably.
Wow, that's awesome.
At least a year.
So Nike was sending Jordan 4s for you guys to like wear test and then give design, not even wear test, but give like design cues on what the Nike SB Jordan 4 should be.
Exactly.
What was your feedback? Do you remember?
It's thick.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned very briefly, I want to get back to this. I don't know if this was totally a joke, but you said you were trying to, Joe said, do the Gnarhunters Jordan 4 SB.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh.
you pitched that to him?
Yeah, I had a pair of this is when Hunter worked at Jordan even. I had a pair of denim 6s and I spray painted them black and I just like Gnarhunters times Nike Jordan,
Listen,
collab.
all black.
Crickets. Crickets from
Jordan.
Hunter on that
Damn,
one.
Yeah, but
Hunter.
We'll put it out
Hunter.
there. We'll relight that fire.
And then I recently hit up Bobes and was like
Who's Bob? Sorry, I don't know.
Ryan
who that is.
Bobier,
Okay.
boss.
Okay.
I hit him up and I was like, I want to do something. I want something in the work. After this came out, I was like, well, I don't have nothing going right now. So I wanted to like start working on something. And I was like, what about a Jordan collab? And they're like, Jordan's a little different right now or something.
That's a hard one to crack, I think.
Yeah. One of these days though, Eric did it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
I love that.
Just throw it out there.
Put it on the record right here.
Yeah. I even sent them like marketing and everything.
Wow,
Oh.
It could be like
you
this.
made the whole
The
deck.
marketing plan was me.
One other SB question I feel like we have to ask.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to talk with Sandy Bodecker? Was he around much when you first signed? Like, what was that?
Yeah,
relationship like?
I've only hung out with him probably 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I met him was when I first got on. They flew me down to Huntington Beach. It was the U.S. Open of surfing. I think they were sponsoring it or something. Carissa Moore won. It was like her first time winning.
Yeah.
They had like this cool hotel, and I hung out with him a little bit. Great guy.
Yeah.
Super great. Yeah, and then right before he passed, I was at his house playing with his cats, Rachel and I, and he came in and we shot the shit for a minute, and then, yeah, that was it.
Yeah. What a legend.
Big legend.
In the pre, like you talk about, like, you know, before Nike and Etnies, I know there was all the core, like, footwear skate brands. Were they all, like, super competitive with each other? You know, you hear all these stories about people leaving for other teams and people getting mad and all that. But.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think anytime business is involved, people get pretty competitive and irate.
They were trying to poach you from here or there?
You know, I think there was one time when Vans tried to get me from Etnies, but Etnies matched the money, so I stayed with them because I was with them for, you know, a few years at the time and had this weird loyalty thing going.
Okay.
And Vans was in a weird place back then, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's about it.
Listen, we're going to get that Jordan collab.
I'm down.
You know? Team effort. Team effort.
I already know what it would be.
I may try a heel flipper and ollie with the Jordans on if that happens.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You may?
Yeah.
Where? What? Do you have a spot in mind?
Dumbo?
Welty's
got it.
Yeah. You gotta. She ends up doing a white colorway and just ruining your dreams. But.
Take it back to Allen Park Elementary.
I wore.
What?
Right?
Look at
get some clips there, right?
You waited to the fourth quarter. He waited to the fourth quarter, 1 minute left to bring it out.
Why not?
Oh, I love
Put
it.
in the
Love
marketing
it,
plan,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I went to Allen Park Elementary a month ago.
What about a Cortez? For Cortez Ave.
Wait. Oh, Cortez. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Mob them down Cortez, too. Yeah.
You know, why not?
Cortez, Ricardo, Moreno, all that.
Okay.
Say it.
Good.
Take them down Grace.
Keep going. Elissa, this was fun. Thank you so much for taking the time. Hope you enjoy your stay in New York.
I'm out tomorrow morning.
Okay.
But I
Not
have
enough time
enjoyed
for
my
us to go
stay.
skating then.
You gonna bring your board?
Yeah.
Very non-committal.
You guys coming skating with me after this? I'm going to link up with the Baker guys right now.
Oh wow, I can't. I was a rollerblader. No. I tried rollerblading. It did not work out. But this guy is a skater of the group.
Don't be sheepish.
Yeah, don't.
It happened.
I know. I watched the show.
Yeah, look.
Come on. I know what's up.
What? You were.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'll go with you.
Have you?
Yeah, let's go.
I had a.
You guys are all welcome. Where am I going? Columbus Circle, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Close by, right?
It's close enough. I had like one skateboarding summer. Yeah.
I tried once, and then like I didn't pedal. I didn't like
Push fast.
Pedal? You said pedal?
push. I didn't push fast enough. The front wheel hit a rock. I went flying. That was the end of my skateboarding.
It's a common story.
Exactly. Leave it to the experts and the professionals. But all kidding aside, thank you so much for
thanks for
taking
having
the time. This was really
It's a
fun.
pleasure.
All right, everyone. This has been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. We hope everyone has a great weekend. Please like, subscribe. We will see you next week.